So when I think of myself sometimes having anxiety disorder, panic disorder, I'm like, well, I'm just broken. I got issues, right? I literally will say that. I'd be like, I'm broken.
No, girl.
I do. I say it.
Oh, we're going to have to start positive self-talk.
All right. Well, just help me then.
I will.
Welcome to It's a Mental Thing, the podcast that dives deep into the power of the mind and the heart of mental health. Whether you're navigating life's challenges, seeking balance, or simply curious about how to care for your mind, you're in the right place. Each week, we explore stories, strategies, and expert insights to help you build resilience, find clarity, and embrace a healthier you. So take a deep breath and let's journey together toward a brighter, more mindful tomorrow. Welcome to It's a Mental Thing, because your mental health matters.
Okay, so I'm telling you right now, I'm just being honest with you.
So am I.
I know I'm a little scared of that. But I'm being honest when I say, I have literally said to myself, and maybe I'll say it in a joking way, but I think I kind of mean it.
Yes.
I'm broken. Like something inside me is not right. I got issues.
Mm-hmm. Well, we all do.
Yeah.
We all do. But if we start telling ourselves we're broken, now we're imperfect people. None of us are perfect.
True.
More of us have a mental health diagnosis than not. Mm-hmm. But you're not broken. You are not something that needs to be fixed because you have a diagnosis at all. You have a chemical imbalance of anxiety and panic.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I say that's it, period. I know sometimes as a person too that shares that diagnosis, I know that seems and sounds easier coming from someone else, but I also know when it's hard.
Yeah.
But if I start telling myself, well, I'm just broken and I must be mentally ill and something's wrong with me, I'm going to believe that. And I can't have you doing that. And I can't have my patients doing that or anyone doing that.
Well, okay. So if we're sitting out here thinking we are broken in some way, and you're like, no, you have a diagnosis, period.
Yeah.
But why am I not broken?
Because you have a chemical imbalance and it's how you're wired. A broken person, I don't know if anyone can truly be a broken person. If we think about grief and someone is breaking down in sadness or, have made really poor life decisions and life has changed for them.
It's like a momentary season thing.
Maybe they can identify as brokenness in their life. But to say I'm a broken person, that's you telling me I'm infixable. I can't be fixed. Now, a therapist my job isn't to fix anyone.
Right.
Because I don't see anyone as broken. I see you as someone who needs help and support.
Yeah.
And that's how you should see you. And that's how anyone should see me, like yourselves. With me, there are times I may feel broken, but I am not a broken person. And I don't want to label myself with that, which is why today what I want to talk about is the actual difference of when we talk about, hey, it's mental health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Okay.
So I want to talk about what mental health is and what that refers to versus what is a mental illness.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I want to break down.
Yeah, because I feel like I probably use the terms interchangeably and probably not correctly.
Yeah.
So I would love some information on that.
A lot of people do. And so I wanted to tell people today that mental health really refers to just like a state of well-being.
Okay.
And, we talk about our physical health. We talk about our dental health. Yeah. All just of the things.
Overall is the place where you need to be.
Right.
If you're healthy, right?
Absolutely. So mental health refers to a state of well-being encompassing emotional, physiological, psychological, and social aspects, while mental illness is a specific condition or a disorder that affects a personality or a person's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So mental health, overall well-being of their emotional state, their psychological state, their social aspects. Mental illness, we've got a disorder, we've got a diagnosis, and it affects our thoughts, our feelings, and behavior. So that's where we are.
Okay. So let me ask this. So Can people struggle with mental health issues but not have a mental illness?
Yes. So there's so many people that think, I'm not going to therapy, nothing's wrong with me. Well, what if you're a perfectionist? Okay? Now, there's not a diagnosis for perfectionism. However, there's usually an underlying of high anxiety,
Yeah.
high functioning anxiety, OCD. It doesn't always have to be that way, but truly, I have some people that come in and they're working on themselves to just better their thought patterns, better how they think.
Yes.
And they may not have a mental health diagnosis.
Diagnosis. Okay.
Right. So mental health is a spectrum of, individuals can have good mental health, even if they experience periods of stress, sadness, grief, whereas mental illness is an actual diagnosed condition that typically requires professional
Treatment.
help. Right.
Okay.
So we can all have good mental health. And seeing a therapist or talking to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, that is good mental health. We go to the doctor for a physical, for a
Right,
checkup. We may be healthy, but we go
still
every year.
I go to the dentist every 6 months.
Every 6 months. And that's because we're told to go to the dentist every 6 months.
To keep things healthy, to keep things at bay.
Right.
So that we're not developing a cavity that rots a tooth out over 6 years.
And then you're in big trouble.
Right.
Mental health, what if you're struggling with anger issues since you were a kid? Explosion. You get into your first real good relationship. Something goes wrong. Something doesn't go your way. Explosion.
Yeah.
And you've never treated your anger issues because you never saw the need to.
Right.
And then now we have a problem. And I ask usually, when did you see this start? Most people will say childhood.
Yeah.
So again, we can have good mental health, but if we have that mental illness, it's usually a diagnosis that refers some sort of professional. Again, me and you, we have a mental illness. That sounds, and people who hear that don't want to say.
Yeah.
That's why we don't walk around and say, "Hi, I'm Erica. I have a mental illness. I'm mentally ill. I have anxiety and panic."
Yeah.
Most people will just say, "Oh yeah, I have anxiety disorder as well."
Yeah.
So the stigma is illness.
Yeah.
And that came from years ago when
When you think of someone that's mentally ill, you think of a movie and a crazy person going nuts.
in a psych unit.
Yes.
And again, not to discredit, like there are some truly severe mental illness. Like we're talking, I made a list. So severe mental health issues, there can be severe depression. There can be severe anxiety disorders, severe bipolar disorders, schizophrenia, manic depressive disorders, eating. These are just small examples of what can be severe.
Yeah.
And I can treat all of those. And the thing is these are treatable, but you have to see a professional to get that help. Just as if you were going to go to the eye doctor, to the dentist, to your primary care doctor, which is where we stand, especially in Alabama. Health is health. So mental health, hygiene health, optometry health, all of the things should be for me, not because I'm just in the profession, but I don't understand why we can't connect the two as health being health.
It's just that stigma. And I think in the South especially, it's like you keep it down, you put a smile on your face, put the lipstick on and walk out the door and you're fine.
Yeah.
And nobody needs to know what is going on behind closed doors. That's a stigma, especially in the South, that I think we have to really work to get past.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right here. That's why we're on this podcast telling
100%.
people we are mentally ill.
Yeah, and if you look at us though, yes, we look put together. We did get ready. We did get ourselves put together. But that's because we're stable people and we can still do that. We are fully capable to go out in the world. Now, does that mean we might not have an anxious day? No. We still may have anxious symptoms. We still may have panic symptoms. However, seeking therapy, seeking psychiatry, seeking medication, all of those things help us be better people.
And we have done those things. So we're sitting here today saying we have a mental illness, but we are also actively seeking
Right.
treatment and help
Right.
for our mental health.
Right. And so when most people think, oh, they must be mentally ill. Okay. So let's just stereotype. And I don't want to do this, but I'm just being so real with you.
I get it.
Okay. So if we're walking down the street and we see homeless and we see someone that's clearly either intoxicated, they may be talking to themselves.
Yes.
There is a true mental illness there. Can I diagnose it on the spot? No. But are we looking at maybe bipolar schizophrenia, manic depressive? But these people may not be getting any kind of treatment. They may not be able to afford it. It may run in their family and they've ended up in a place of life where they can't change their environment and they can't change their situation. That is true mental illness. An anxiety disorder is a mental illness, but those are two very different things.
Yeah.
They're the same title, same name. That person can still get help and be okay. How dare we look at them any differently and say, you see how mentally ill they are? That just sounds worse than to say, oh, they probably have untreated schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Now, that's just something, again, in that situation, they may not be able to afford it or have a clue where to go to start. But if you're someone who has somewhat of a diagnosis, that's a mental illness. It's just like, again, if you have COVID, that's an illness and you're getting treated for it.
If you have a sinus infection, that's an illness. If you have stage 4 cancer, that's an illness.
Right.
Different spectrums, right?
But you say mentally ill.
There's a stigma.
There's a stigma.
It's a stigma. Yeah.
But sitting here and me and you admitting, hi, my name is Erica. I have a mental illness. AA, you walk in. Hi, my name is Erica. I'm an alcoholic. That's you stating alcoholism is a mental health, like it is a disease.
Yes.
So what is the difference? That's the thing. It sounds worse.
Right. But that's what
It's
you're
the
saying is
same.
there's not
No.
a difference.
It just sounds like, oh, I do not want to have a mental illness.
Yeah.
Well, you're not wearing it as a necklace.
Right.
You're not wearing it on your forehead. When I tell people I have panic disorder or anxiety disorder, if they've never seen me at the worst of my worst or in an anxious moment, they would never know it.
Yeah.
Well, we're good at wearing the mask of
Yeah.
I'm good. But also when I take that mask off and I'm genuine and I'm transparent, I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
There was a time in life where pride took me longer to get help because I was prideful. I'm a therapist who can help people all day long navigate how to do it. But for me, I was like, I got this. I'm fine.
Well, and you probably felt like you really shouldn't have that issue if you're in this field,
Yeah,
right?
well, because I know too much about it.
Yeah.
Which was almost what was scarier because I knew. But also I didn't want to confront that. Had nothing to do with the fact that I would have the diagnosis. I knew I did.
Sure.
But when people look at, oh, Nicole and Erica are mentally ill, but when you're looking at us right now, we're normal human beings. We have a diagnosis. We see a therapist. We see a psychiatrist. We're completely capable to be a mom, to work full time, to go shopping, to talk to friends. Like, we're capable of all things.
Yes.
And because mental health and mental illness have a different definition, well, I don't know why that's, for me, I'm in this profession, but why people see it so taboo.
Well, and I think that is what we're trying to get across here is it shouldn't be taboo.
Right.
It's not taboo in our world. We don't want it to be
Right.
taboo in your world.
Right.
And the more people that get on this train, the better for everyone, right?
And I know we're making light, like it seems like we may be making lightly of it, but I think we're just telling the truth. It's just us and who we are, and it may just be you, and you've never stepped out and said, yeah, I have a mental health diagnosis. Okay. Mental health diagnosis we hear more often rather than, hi, I'm mentally ill, I have anxiety disorder. Even if I had bipolar or some sort of mood disorder, personality disorder, all diagnoses, as in the DSM-5, all treated differently. But again, you don't have to tell anyone what your diagnosis is. We're transparent enough to help, like, to let other people know, hey, it's okay. We've gone through the struggles.
Yeah.
We've gone through the steps to get the treatment we need.
And talking about it to me makes it feel smaller.
Oh, so
like
much
if I'm
smaller.
in my head about it, but then when I'm saying it out loud to you and I'm telling the
Yeah.
world who wants to listen to this podcast, like, hey, this is what we're dealing with.
Right.
It just makes it feel smaller.
Yeah, and normalizes it.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and I'm not ashamed of it. Nobody should be ashamed of it. No matter what your diagnosis is, you can be treated. And if you're someone who has a severe manic depressive episode, or if you're someone who has been diagnosed with bipolar, and you're untreated, and you have to end up in the hospital for a psychiatric unit or psychiatric evaluation. I used to work at a hospital for the psychiatric unit. Loved it. Those people needed extra care, extra treatment, and extra observation. That's it.
Yeah.
They go, they may stay 7 to 10 days. That does not make them crazy because they've had a hospital stay.
Right.
That meant that they had to use extra treatment, extra resources
More
to
intensive.
get help.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they come out and in hopes that they've got the right medication regimen, the right doctors, they've been referred to a therapist, and what if their whole world changes?
Yeah.
So if you're that person who says, my grandmother had schizophrenia, my mother had schizophrenia, I'm showing signs of schizophrenia, you may be. So ask for help, get that diagnosis,
Yeah.
get treated for it. But that's what mental health is, the overall well-being of taking care of yourself and your mind and your skills that you need to learn. Mental illness is someone who has been diagnosed with something. You're seeking professional help, you're learning coping skills, and you're well on your way to a healthy life, helping your mental health.
Help overall.
Health is health. I love it.
Be sure to follow our podcast on your favorite platform or find us on YouTube. Just a quick note. It's a Mental Thing is here to inform and inspire, but it's not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you're facing a mental health challenge, we encourage you to seek help from a licensed therapist like Erica or a healthcare provider.